Where did I put my new readme? In pipeline. I guess it did not go this way. It's still a vertical base class. Yep. Merging push constant ranges doesn't seem to make sense. Well, I changed my mind on that. Or did I? I don't know. I'm going to have a look at what exactly is the problem here. So the first thing I have to ask is testing 1 2. Is it? Let's put the music really soft, I think. The reason that this push constant ranges list has anything in it at all, let alone that the size is larger than 1, is because it was added to in this, no, not in this line, push back here in this function. In other words, we did a call to add, passing a vector of push constant range. Probably that one. Here's a declaration. This is just a type. This is the add. More create info, flat create info stuff. Basically also flat create info stuff. I don't know what this is. I think all the logical devices related to creating it. I'm gonna have a look at this. So pointed to that vector as being passed to the flat create info. Tips down here. It's being called. It's being used. It's being filled. Sorry. So first we add it and then we fill it. It's being filled from this thing. Okay. And that is a standard set. Seems to accumulate a range. Hmm. It's slightly strange. This only looks at offset and size. This compare, so it completely ignores Wait, this is vulkan push constant range. This is VK push constant range. That's different. That does have shader stage flags though. Yep, still. So we're completely ignoring that. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I think that's wrong. But anyway, this is then at least being called apparently to fill that, right? Push constant range. So during pre-processing, I see that a certain push constant member is being used. What this is being called. Yeah, let me paste this somewhere in Discord. Pasting it in development. So this is being called. When a push constant member is seen in a shader during pre-processing, is called. And then we know the shader that it is being used in, and the GLSL ID string. And I'm having a pointer to the base class, the push constant base class. Well, that would be that one. What is this? I guess that's the one that calls it. Okay, so let's this pointer of the this push constant, whatever it is. Push constant in shader, vulkan shader builder. That's this one. Okay, that's derived from shader variable. I guess we're going to have that per base type, per basic type, and then also per GLSLID. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay. There's another thing though. We can call add push constant, I think. Yeah, that's a template. What does that do then? That calls add push constant member. that adds GLSL ID full to push constant declaration context stuff, as well as AddShader variable. This is add push constant object. So it just makes a mapping for each GLSL ID string to certain objects, the shader builder push constant object. And we're calling AddShader variable, which stores in shader variables of what? AddShaderStage. You know, all of that just kind of works independently. Okay, it's depending. It's kind of like per stage, per declaration, which is per stage. See, no problem. Yet our assert is not happy because somewhere I'm adding I'm adding something to the flat create info. Right. So where was that exactly? Type in this too. When a characteristic calls add push constant my push constant then the members of my push constant are registered and stored in add push constant that Okay. Declaration context. It's in there. Well, which is also in AddPush constant. And as a shader variable in. Let's add shader stage. Shader variables. But if that's true, then why would I have a separate AddPush constant? Because apparently we always need a AddShaderStage. Suppose you cannot have a AddPush constant if you do not have an AddShaderStage. What would happen if you try that? Then add a shader variable would be called here on the AddPush constant, which calls, I guess, AddShaderStage bridge, and then we would crash here. I don't know when else it can happen. Yep, okay. But what about this assert? This assert complains about that thing, right? Let's look at that again, because I did not bump into it. I mean, this happens when we call this merge, and then the size is larger than 1. But where then is it added to? It must be the right lock here. Yeah, that was the add. So somewhere we're calling this add. And that was for, that's a flat create info. That one, of course. So the add is called here. Well, the add to flat create info is called an add. Here's the add being called. That is as a result of calling this, which is as a result of calling register add push constant with. So then when is that being called? That is being called here. As a result of calling that from characteristic range. Yeah, that it's probably just being called from add characteristic. Okay, completely in the beginning. So when you add a new characteristic to a pipeline factory, at the moment you add a characteristic, it's gonna register it. I think this add is too short because I cannot jump to it. Too many adds. This is the flat create info. Okay, so this is the add, which then adds it to this list. Okay. Well, I mean, it makes it happy, but why are we adding it at all? That is a good question, I suppose. We're adding it at all because we're using it somewhere, and we're using it here at the moment that get sorted push constant range is being called. Where it is being called from. From here. And why are we calling that? Because you need this, because it's being used there. Realize, create or get from cache the pipeline layout and return a suitable set index hint map. So it's needed for the pipeline layout. Okay, last argument to realize pipeline layout. Choose as a key. Well, let's assume we don't find it. Then it is used for creating the pipeline layout. Second argument. Push constant ranges. Okay, so apparently in order to create a pipeline layout we have to pass all the push constant ranges. Or rather a vector of that. One or more, whatever this is pointing to. And that is pointing to a VK push constant range. which exists of stage select, offset and size. But this is for the single pipeline. Now I have to think. Why is everything so difficult? Okay, I need to know if the great pipeline layout is called before or after preprocessing. Let's hope after. So MQ. So this is the one. Preprocessed. Okay, it's being called after preprocessing. Okay, I think that the term sorted here, I want that to mean first sorted on the push content type, as it were. And that's type that was passed to add push constant. And then inside of that, we can have at most 3 different ranges. Which I want to have sorted as first used in just wait. We have maybe more of those things. Well, I want them to be sorted. I guess it doesn't really matter. It's more like it's a certain push constant member or range. Okay, 2 members next to each other are used in only the vertex shader or only the fragment shader or in both. And I think I just have to treat all those differently. And then the order doesn't really matter. Although I could roughly order them, I guess by offsets. Because let's say, well, I don't know, it's 256 bytes. How big is a cache line? 64 bytes. Okay, so still probably want to go, you know, do as much as possible per cache line and not one cache line and then a lot of cache lines further and then the first cache line again. You know, that would be a waste of cache. So I'm more or less sorted in order of memory location, but not really important at the moment, at least. Right. So we need something that is sorted by this flag that is inside here. It's sorted by the AddShaderStage flags. Yes. And I think which is more important than offset or the stage flag? Stage flag, right? Let's add a comment here. mean, if they're different types, means probably completely different memory locations. So yeah. And then you have the stage flag, bits, and then the lowest priority, the offset. Is that offset within the type? That then means that merging is possible, I think, because this calls merge on the flat create info merge. Because let's say we have different types, then the merging will be done by just concatenating them and yeah, I mean different types. So I'm not sure about the order then, but I don't think the order is important. So basically you can just concatenate them or maybe sort them by type ID or something like that. Or maybe you can assign a unique ID per type, sort by that. But if I have two of the same type, then well, they will extend the range, I think, to, let's say, maybe I should add a comment in to this function rather. So I'm totally not looking at chat today because it just doesn't work for me. Too distracting. Matching push constant ranges doesn't seem to make sense. At least it's not supported right now. Yeah, well, we're going to merge it anyway now. And this is no longer true. Sorted push constant ranges is sorted on from highest to lowest priority. That, yep. Hmm. Now it has to return a VK push constant, a vector VK push constant range. But I don't think that's gonna work for me intermediately. So rather I have to do something here, something different. Okay, now in order to do this efficiently and or for debug warnings, maybe even asserts, I think I need to extend it a little bit. Well, maybe. Anyway, it seems handy to not use VK constant range type per se as the input. Not sure if I have already a push constant range. Don't think so. I do. Well, might as well use this then. It does have an offset size and shader stage flags. Yeah. Let's use the word shader stage flags then instead of what I'm using now. A bit something. Now that requires a completely different merge because my merge is very dumb. The only thing that it's doing is got to find the right one. What was my merge? This is the merge. Yeah, it's just concatenating it. So you have multiple vectors and then just dang, put after another, and that's definitely not what I described here. That would never work. So you can no longer call merge here. I'll just have to write our own merge code. And then I want to change the type of what is currently stored on as an M push constant ranges list. So currently that is a thread safe vector of vectors of push constant range, VK push constant range. But we're going to change that into Vulkan push constant range. Yep. Now then, of course, this also becomes Vulkan. Instead of VK, we use Vulkan push constant range. Might as well just look for push constant range. That's a very bad example here, because it's talking about something that we're not going to call merge on anymore. Ah, damn it. I want to use an automatic registration. So I guess one of these. You might have a, wait. Oops, redo, undo. Okay, redo, that was a column. You might have a pipeline vector characteristic that is derived from AddVertexShader. I mean, the vertex shader is the one that has these vertex input binding descriptions, I think. Yep. And these are they're automatically added to the there. Yeah. These are automatically added to the add create info. And then I'm not calling something in its initialization state. If you do not have a oh yeah if you do not have vertex buffers, that's a special case. Cannot say you should not derive then. Oh bloody hell, it's already described here. If you do not have any vertex buffers, you should set use vertex buffers to false in the constructor. Okay. Okay, just delete this then. Already have that example. And I got there because I was looking for push constant range, I guess. Right, yeah. Don't have a .cxx file for flat create info. Whoa. Now this is then going to give a compile error because somewhere we're calling add anyway on it. I can just look at what the compile error gives. Shall I make an attempt to write a merge code already? Maybe I can do that. Although the merging is going to depend on the push constant range. On the other hand, yeah, you have to start somewhere. Okay, so now I don't have the vector anymore at all of this type, so we're going to have to construct it. And I have to fill it with let's try to write this in an abstract way. That is assuming that vulkan push constant range already exists, works, and provides the exact API that I need to write this. Okay, I'm gonna sit here on my eye closed again, thinking about this. Okay, I'm bothered by my let's say by the, I don't know the word, so by the dilemma to write it optimal. Let's say if you have a very large number of objects, push constants and etc., I would have to write it differently. But I think we're talking about millions then, and practically you will probably have just a handful, if that. So I should probably write way less efficient codes, because it's going to be fast anyway, than something super difficult. I'm just having a hard time writing something that is order n squared instead of order n log n, you know. I don't like doing that, but yeah, in this case if n is very small then it doesn't really matter. So one of the more inefficient things that I was thinking about is to copy stuff a lot. Let's say if I write a merger that merges two vectors, then I could merge, let's say if the input is a million, yeah, we're not talking about that. So if the input is 4 vectors, which is actually already pretty ridiculously large if you ask me, then I can merge the first 2 vectors and the last 2 vectors, and then the result of that merge that again. And then I'm wondering, yeah, but it would be faster if I made a, you know, way more complicated algorithm that just merges all 4 at once. But it's not worth it, I guess. So maybe I should just go for the merge 2 vectors at a time solution here. Now let me think if I can make it more abstract, because I don't think it's really needed. It's not really needed to make it more abstract. I just need a good comparison function for each element. I guess I could provide that here with the lambda, and then I can call a general zip function that zips 2 vectors. Let's see if that already exists. Just a more difficult one. A zip operator iterator on multiple containers. Views.zip. Okay, I have to click on this because that's a standard. Since C++ 23. Well, it is 23. Kinda not sure if I want to jump another standard though requirement just for this. Does Boost have it? No, a lot of talk, no code. Goodbye. This one uses standard zips, but yeah, it's C++ 23. The question was C++ 11. I added anyway. Who cares? Exactly what I and you needed. Funny. Wow, I got 2 photos up. I have to look at this. I got 2 photos up on my ultra fast lookup in small size container of 64-bit integer values using dynamic perfect hashing. They voted up my question. What about my answer? Because yes, I answered it myself. Oh, I'll post an update when I have working code. I have working code. Did I not post an update? Yeah, what to do about this? You know, I had to. I was asked to, moderate new answers, and I was super unhappy with this answer. And then you can only click on delete it, and I was not able to add a comment. So instead, I voted it down and I added the comment. It's just nonsense, you know. This guy asks recursive Fibonacci using standard map, and his problem is that that it doesn't work after, what did he say, 94, because numbers Fibonacci number 94 and higher is doesn't fit in an unsigned long. And then this guy 2 years later posts something that uses ints. So he didn't look at it at all. He didn't understand what the question was about, or he was too lazy to read it. He posts something that already exists, but then using int instead of long. It even got worse. It probably should have just deleted it. You should put more effort in answers, I think. But on the other hand, you don't want to discourage them right from the beginning too much, because then we don't get anyone answering anything anymore in the far future. Okay, anyway, what was I looking for? Best way to iterate over 2 or more containers. 2 or more. I think maybe a really fast algorithm would be using a tournament tree. Which is optimal to find the largest thing without actually sorting anything. So you'd have, say, 64 iterators, and you just find in a very fast way the smallest one or the largest one. And the next, and the next, and the next, and then you can just, push back to a vector in order. But I will be coding 2 days just to do that, and that's kind of silly because I don't need that kind of optimization here for my push concepts. Damn it, I just want some copy-paste code, something quick. Boost as a zip iterator. Cons. What is cons? Containers. Yeah. This guy is using a folding expression to get a lot of zip iterators. Yeah, nice blinding. Well, your block has prevented the following page from loading. No, dead end. Boosters have a zip iterator which accepts range rather than a container, on the condition that the ranges are the same size. This avoids some weirdness and in fairness is more idiomatic C++. It turns out this is possible, not without some trickery. This is the basic motivation. Then range for expression with structured bindings. I'm not even sure what a zip is doing. So really just like a zipper, or is it sorting? Because that's what you want, of course. Very unclear. Maybe I'm impatient, but I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. Yeah, it's not what I want. Maybe I should just start running it myself, because this is not really making any progress here. Thought oh, something like this must exist already. Sort multiples together. Nope. Example, please. Possible implementation. Originally, blah blah, after sorting, that, after merging. That's what I want. Except that they are the same size. Don't tell me they have to be the same size. Elements are compared using operator less than. Elements are compared using the given binary comparison function comp. Same as 1.3, but executed according to policy. These overloads do not participate in overload resolution unless is execution policy is true. This merge function is stable, which means that for equivalent elements in the original two ranges, the elements from the first range, preserving their original order, precede the elements from the second range. Behavior is undefined if the destination range overlaps either of the input ranges. The input range may overlap each other. Yeah, I don't really care, I guess. This is just the first step. Although maybe not having duplicates would be nice. Why is you set union? Let me just read that as well. Constructs construct a sorted union beginning at D first. Contains a set element present in one or both sorted ranges. Contains M elements that are equivalent to each other and contains N elements that are equivalent to them. And all M elements will be copied from, resulting in the arbitrary preserving order, and then the final elements will be copied from the arbitrary also preserving order. That's not what I want. Am I crazy? It ends up ordered. Oh, the input is ordered. bad example. Bad example. Okay, so it does zip indeed. It's still ordered. So it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the other 4 is skipped. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So this first output. Oh, let's use this. I want to record something. Yeah, dist. Let's call this source. Up. And that is in algorithm. Oops. Why do I press that wrong button? I know I still didn't buy the rower because I'm lazy, I guess. So add a header. Include algorithm. And then we need source and val2 to be defined. Right, so I had, I think this one. Let's lock that to a read log. Is it allowed to be empty? I don't think it should be allowed to be empty. Well, we don't. Then we just don't have any push constants, I guess. Yeah, I guess it is allowed to be empty. So if it is empty, then I'll just return nothing. Don't have to do that then. That's never empty anyway. Plus this, I don't think this takes any CPU at all. Empty vector. Doesn't allocate. Oh, this comment is old. It's nonsense. Yeah, so if its size is 1, then there's nothing much we can do here. No, cannot return. So yeah, it's a copy. What can I do about it? I think pushback might be a little bit too inefficient. Otherwise we start to do real stuff. I'm not sure if this is right, but oh, gotta start somewhere. So now I resize it by 1, so now I have a single empty vector here stored in this vector, and that should become equal to whatever you have in here, which is exactly the same thing, namely a vulkan vector of vulkan push constant ranges. Oops. Vulkan. So I simply want to copy it then. I think a standard copy or so. Standard copy is that what I want. I guess that's what I want. Standard copy. We go in, out, okay. That's not what I want. The list is a vector of vectors. So if the size is 1, you have only one vector, and you want to copy that vector. What is this? It's something that if I dereference it, it gives me a reference to the double vector. Just dereference it. And then the first element, I guess. Yeah, does that work? Should be. And yeah, if we have more than one vector, we can merge them. At least we can merge the first two. Man, how to write this efficiently. Bottle up. I'm not happy. I don't like these special cases either. Okay, so I'll do it like this. I have a reference in, which is simply equal to this thing here, dereferenced. Except I want to change in later on. You cannot change references. So let's make it a pointer. And then we have to take the pointer of this. And then the same thing with the output. Also a pointer out. And I'm going to do some kind of loop. So after the first step, if temp size equals 1, then we're done. Yeah, I mean not temp, out. Except that out is a pointer. So if out pointer size is 1, that means that this vector is the size of 1, so we have only one vector left. And now that means that we merge everything. And then we can quit. If that was not the case, then I want to change the input to the current output. And out is, yeah, something else, because now we have this thing here that is being used as input now. Cannot use it as output at the same time, I think. So let's make another one. Let's just make 2 of these, array. Temp is not a good nice name. What do I call this? Storage. It's called S storage, whatever. So the first vector is being used as output. And then in this case we do S is 1 minus S. Can't type. And out becomes the new S. I need to clear it in case there's something in it. Yeah, so we merge, we do something in terms of merging, and then we have less vectors, I hope. That's the idea. And then if the output equals 1, then we are done. Otherwise, the new input is the output, and we switch to the different storage for the output. So then we merge the last output to the next storage, and if then the size is still not 1, then well, we do that again, and then we switch back to the first storage again, which is clear. So I think that should work, but now I still have to do that merging. Need merge is in size. The number of vectors that needs merging. This cannot be 0, because if it is 0, then this was empty, and if that's empty, we returned already. So it's either 1 or larger. I need another loop. Okay, so if what we need to merge is non-existent, then I just want to copy the input to the output without merging. And I don't know what is in out. This is out. I don't know what is in out, so I don't want to resize it. I do want to, well, actually I probably do want to resize it. I could push back an empty vector, but is that fast enough? I think it's the same thing. Can do an in-place, can try an in-place back, passing nothing. So we put a new empty vector in out at the end, and then we get the this empty, but we get the begin iterator, and then that should work, I guess. It should copy, so assuming that only vector is then the correct input vector, and that is, well, see, I just need I need something else. Let's make an iterator that called in vector. Points at the first one. So if we enter here, or we enter from the bottom there, but we enter at the top of the for loop again, then in vector is the first vector in, and the total number of vectors that we have is the number that needs merging. let's not use in, let's just use input. So there is only one vector left that needs merging, then we just copy it. And I guess I can do this. I want to update it. Or whatever this loop is doing here. Yeah, we're done. So I can just break out of this loop. This needs a back inserter pointing to the next. And since need merge can never be 0, at least that's what I'm going to make sure of, I suppose. Is that true? Yeah, that's true. We always produce at least, we always enter this do, so we always produce one output. And then the input is set to the output, so the size of input is always at least 1. Well, this is at least 1. And then, okay, suppose we have multiple vectors in the input. In other words, size is like big and it's not 1, and therefore we merge 2 of them. And then we do a while loop, and then begin at top again. So we're going to add another output. And then it's important to update need merge, of course. So after this we need merge as minus becomes 2. And now you'd say that need merge could be 0. Because it's not 1, it's not 0, could be 2. And then we merge that, and then we end up with 0. But we already produced our output, so we just do that until need merge is, well, while need merge is still larger than 0. So either it's equal to 1, in which case we break out of the loop anyway, or it is equal to 2 or larger, in which case we subtract 2. If it then becomes 0, we stop. Or if it becomes 1 or larger, we go to the top again and then we repeat. Furthermore, I need to update in vector 1. Let's do it like this. Let's just post increment here and a pre-increment here. So vector 2 becomes vector 1. Let's swap those in. No, it doesn't matter. It only matters for the what was it called? Merge, standard merge. But anyway, one becomes a vector that we had. So the vector that is before the, I mean, vector 2 is now before vector 1. And I don't think it makes any difference, of course, but I wanted to put that one first then here. And vector 1 is then incremented twice, so we skip both. Now we get back at the top here, and we might copy the next one. Yeah, looks good. So now we do kind of, I guess, this merge here, pairwise, and then switch here and then do it again and again and again until we end up with a single vector, which will be stored in output. But then I still need to have Wait, since I break out of this loop here, I think I'm not using int vector anymore, right? Int vector 1 is pointing to input. And we do a break here. So either we're totally done or input is no longer used. In other words, I might as well move this. I think it's probably better to move it, yeah. Yeah, feels good. Let's do output. Let's do this here. And then here we just put vector 1 at the end. But with a move. So you can do an M-place back, I guess. Standard move. Should it be a pushback? I don't want to create it. I think a pushback works. And then we move, I must have a vector, so that would be this one. Or it's cheaper anyway. The only downside of this code is that I'm not 100% sure, so really I should test it, and I hate testing. Lots of extra work. Got a few special cases and stuff. But okay, we got everything now. No, not yet. Standard union is using operator less than, right? So that must be defined then, for this can work. Suppose it won't even compile the way it is now, because they don't have that defined. Let's try that. Okay, this is not gonna compile because what? Missing header, I guess. Confused. Vulkan push constant range. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm finally watching the chat again. So you see Drachmatic say, no, shaders are, but what is the descriptor set? The descriptor set is something that contains I think it's also difficult, Vulkan. It's also difficult. Why is Vulkan so difficult? What is a descriptor set? What the hell's going on here? Yeah. So shader resources are like a uniform buffer or a combined image sampler, and there's a whole lot of them, but those are the only two I am supporting at the moment. They need to be declared as part of a descriptor set, so you can combine them, you can group them a bit, and that's just for to speed things up. So if you put shader resources that are used often in at the same time, then you can put them in the same descriptor set, and then you only have to tell the driver that you want to use a certain descriptor set instead of giving the whole list of shader resources that you want to use. I'll show a shader as soon as it compiles. Then you can see basically what the descriptor set is from the declarations of the shader resources in the shader. What VK success is in this? What's okay? Who do I beat up? It just wants me to do you have pointy ears, Post Bunny? Oh yeah, you do have pointy ears. Telling me that you were an elf, but now I know better. Error, no matching function for call to what's with the compilers? No matching function for call to AI thread save access, AI thread save wrapper, standard vector, const standard vector, vulkan, push constant range, pointer, policy, okay, I get it. Why don't you say that immediately? We're not done yet. We're not done yet. Cannot convert const AI thread save wrapper blah 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 data type pointer. Okay. What's a constant front of it? Getting sick of this. Standard vector, again a const in the front. I can't understand this. I'll have to copy it and then edit a file and then paste it and then bloody fix it. This const goes after, thank you very much. And then that const goes after this vector. That's here. Const, that was last const. Okay, now we are there. Cannot convert to that. Yeah, they're totally different things. Totally different things. Why is there a const pointer here inside this vector of const pointers to vectors? Oh, right. Damn it. Yeah, that's not nice. That is not nice. This is a push constant ranges list is a vector of vector pointers and not a vector of vectors. Well, okay, let's be lazy. I'm just gonna copy it. Pretty annoying. It's either that or duplicating this code for a different type. What shall we do? Well, nobody knows what the player size is. Or the size of one of your players. Mm-hmm. What to do? Duplicate a page of code. Or copy these vectors. Just so I don't have to duplicate code. I think I'm gonna copy it, even though that's gonna be runtime penalty over and over and over and over. It's probably still better, certainly at this point, until I know that this code works. Otherwise I have broken code that is duplicated. It doesn't get any worse than that. That means I cannot set this pointer to that. I can set it to, so I have to copy this. I'm gonna set this to well, S. Let's set it to 0 and 1, and then S got to be what? I guess 1. So your output here is set to the opposite of what S is, and it was 1, so now it becomes 0. So S must be equal to whatever output is set to. So we run over all the vector pointers, and then that vector must be copied. Yeah. Guess I'll use indexes, so vectors anyway. Oh, Like this, I'll use int. Yeah, that's what we're copying it to. I'm copying it from this, I guess. What I'm copying it from? What is this? This is something that if you dereference it becomes a vector of vector pointers. So I dereference it, it becomes a vector of vector pointers, and then we take number I of that. So now I have a vector of now I have a vector pointer, yeah. Begin. Yeah, well, see if it compiles. Request for number push back in output, which is a pointer type. Vector, maybe that, I guess. Well, I'm happy that ChatGPT was banned from Stack Overflow for seldom giving a good answer. Really, out is, yeah. There's another one there. Therefore, there is another one. Request for member back in output, which is of pointer type. Maybe you meant to use that again. How many are left? Shall I search for it? Oh, that's the last one. Result was not declared in the scope. Did you mean VK results? Nope, I didn't. We're not done with this function yet. Because all we did now was sort everything without any merging. Few months. ChatGPT, stop even talking about that stupid bot. I am so annoyed by people thinking that it is a artificial intelligence or something like that. It's just really stupid tool. Useless. I think it got hyped up by people on YouTube who just want to have a lot of hype, a lot of views. It's just a text generator. It's just a neural network that produces text. It's nothing to do with being smart, having a memory, having feelings, being sentient, or being able to think at all. It doesn't understand anything. It doesn't verify anything. No, you guys who keep talking about ChatGPT, well, at least Mark posted. Mark post, seriously, stop pasting any output from ChatGPT. That's too far, too much. ChatGPT is nothing. It's nothing. It's just really stupid something. That would be even better, Buzz Bunny, but I don't want to go that far. At some point I probably get very tired about, you know, people thinking that ChatGPT does anything. I mean, I understand if one says, do you think ChatGPT will kill the job market on devs? That's a legit question, and the answer is no. No way. Because, you know, it's like... Yeah, I pasted it in my Discord. Have a read on what the developers think. Paste it here, I guess. Where did I paste it? I also pasted, copied it. I put it in my FAQ one, so it's in the description. But read that, click a bit around, read all the comments, look at the votes. Anyone who said that ChatGPT is even a little bit positive or might maybe be useful got downvoted like crazy. So the consensus is very clear. ChatGPT is shit. If you don't believe me, then read that. Someone edited it. They edited it. Well, it used to be ChatGPT is banned. Okay, let me see if I edited it even more drastically. This is a temporary policy. And if you ask me, the only reason that they say temporary is because they don't want to heat up emotions too much. So they call it temporary. To slow down the influx of bullshit answers and other content created with ChatGPT. Yeah, they completely edited it. At least the second paragraph is still saying overall, because the average rate of getting correct answers from ChatGPT is too low, the posting of answers created by ChatGPT, they should put answers between double quotes, is substantially harmful to the site and to the users who are asking and looking for correct answers. So stupid people who get all hyped up about ChatGPT and how wonderful it is, you know, they go to Stack Overflow, see a question, paste the question to ChatGPT, paste the answer back, and I do that the whole day long. Harming the site, because almost every answer they paste from ChatGPT is bullshit. Instead, they should learn things, and then once they become an expert, actually give answers to questions, which are at expert level, because they are experts. And ChatGPT is not that, not even close. So I completely agree with this third paragraph. The primary problem is that while the answers with ChatGPT produced have a high rate of being incorrect, they typically look like they might be good answers and very easy to produce. There are also many people trying out ChatGPT to create answers without the expertise or willingness to verify that the answer is correct prior to posting. So they just stupidly copy-paste answers from ChatGPT. Okay, enough ChatGPT for today, really. The problem with ChatGPT is everything it says is formulated in a way that it sounds like it's a person and it sounds like it knows what it's talking about. You know, oh, the problem is this and that, and you can solve that like this and that and that. And then the question that you ask, namely you ask this and that, has been solved and is answered. And that's it. It's absolutely correct. I know. I'm certain of it. And then you say, no, it's not correct. Oh, I'm sorry for the confusion. Yeah, let's not talk about ChatGPT. Seriously, I already done that. Where was I? Confusion. Sorry, I am so stupid that I only produce mistakes and erroneous answers in an arrogant way. That's what it should be saying. Yeah, that was the problem. There's no result here. Fear, Pose Bunny. No, ChatGPT is not only correct 95% of the time, it's never right. So, Pose Bunny, do your duty. Everyone who is posting anything about ChatGPT in a positive way, I mean, if they beat ChatGPT in the ground, you don't have to delete it. Dude, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. It never gives any useful answer. Not if you ask something about code in any way. It's a glorified Google. So if you ask something that is literally somewhere on Google, it might produce the right answer. But if you ask something that it just has to understand in order to apply some very simple logic to it, then it starts to think that 40 is odd, and that if you ask a solution to a very simple mathematical equation and it fills in a random number, 41, and it doesn't work, well, then the equation doesn't have a solution. I tried 41 and it didn't work out, so there is no solution. Excuse me, did you also try 40 and 39 and 38? Nope. How stupid can you get? Google is much better indeed. If you Google something, then you get the right answer 95%. With a bit of effort, but you can probably be able to find it. So maybe ChatGPT can produce the correct answers instead of Google if it is findable by Google. And if you ask enough questions, if you iterate a few times, you might squeeze it out. But if you ask a question and you don't know the answer, and then you'll get an answer and you will believe it. Well, it's still not. It's still extremely likely being wrong anyway. Yeah, well, Pose Bunny, if you asked for it, so I'll be glad to remove the moderator from you, and then you can be yourself again. But yeah, now your blue nickname, you cannot not behave too weird, I guess. Might might reflect on me. Well, on the channel, let's say. I'm getting tired, by the way. It's 10:30, and well, I think I'll have to wait for the second half of this. The second half we'll have to wait of this function. Let's put it that way. So where you're from, Altin? So a lot of languages in this time zone. I only know a few. Kosovo. I have no idea what that is. What country is it? Hopefully it's not a country. I can Google it, but I'm gonna assume it's not a country. So Albania and Greece. Okay, so you have less cold than here. Turn the heater off, it becomes 14 degrees now inside. Oh yeah, Kosovo rings a bell, yeah, in the sense of military stuff. War, basically. That does ring a bell. Okay, now I'm gonna look it up because, well, Kosovo. Suddenly it's not readable anymore, but it's probably here. Probably here. Greece, above Greece. Bulgaria, Istanbul. And that's still the same time zone as where I'm here in the Netherlands. Seems to be a lot to this side. Are you sure that's still the same time zone? It's 10:30 here, so 22:30. Well, I've been on holiday in. Have you ever been to England? I have been to England, but not on holiday, I think. Cannot remember. Can also not remember if I've been to Sweden or Norway. I don't think I really have. No, I don't. I don't think I ever went there. I definitely went to to Switzerland, and Italy, and France, and Spain, all to on holiday. Yeah, with my parents back then. I went alone to France a few times. And I've been once to Poland. Just visiting a boy that I got to learn over the internet. But that's as far east I ever have been, I think. Can also not remember if we have been in Greece. It's also very wanted, holiday country. Yeah, but all very long ago. Very long ago. Very long ago. Once I've been to America. Now that's a distance, really, with the airplane all the way here. United States. I think been in Boston. I feel like, you know, these days, or this time and age, once in your lifetime, you have to make a really big journey. And I'm starting to get old, so if I don't do it soon, then you'll never have to do it anymore. But I have not been on a holiday for, I think, at least 25 years. That's kind of silly, yeah, I guess. Holidays make memories, and things that I still remember are often from holidays. You really, you know, you get to know people, things happen, it's different. It's nice to have those memories. The memories are almost more worth than the actual vacation. And I just didn't dare to go. I was too scared, I guess. To leave my house, not, but to go to a different country, and always have to go alone because I don't know anyone to go with. That was Bonnie. Yeah, that would be the second time I visit the United States. Have I come visit you? Maybe. You know, most of I've changed a lot since the last 10 years, I think, but certainly before that, I suffer from, you know, psychological instability, basically, say anxiety, and I just can't stand certain things like noise or sound. So I was super afraid to go to a place where I've never been before, because the only thing that is important to me is that it is silent. You know, I can make how do you say? Go to a travel agency and order a holiday in the coast of Spain, say. And then I'll know it will be nice weather, and we'll be able to swim, and there will be lots of places to go out and drink sangria and stuff like that. But it would be a nightmare for me if I cannot find quiet place, especially during night. And you just don't know what to expect. Nobody's going to tell you, oh, sir, you want to, do a holiday, or you are guaranteed to be, to have total silence at night. Sure, we have this list here for you. They never look at it because most people don't care. So it's not catalogued, which means you don't know anything whatsoever, except when you go there and you come in the hotel and it turns out to be a very silent place. Then you could go back the next year. But yeah, you still have to go. And it's not just annoyance for me. I could get into complete panic attack. I mean, it's like having to go back home again. It would be a nightmare, a waste of few thousand dollars or euros. So I just never went. But now I'm less scared to get a panic attack, I guess. So I could just. It's more like when I think about it now, it's more like, yeah, it would be annoying, you know. Bear's gonna throw a fit. What? I thought Carlo was my friend. No, I don't know. It's not Joe. Not funny, I mean. I meant to say something funny. Well, actually, I wanted to say I thought Carlo only loved me, but that went too far, so I changed it, and then it wasn't funny anymore. Okay. I'm gonna go offline because that was the whole point of stopping coding. And then I'll be back tomorrow with more push constant merging. So boring. Yeah, well, the funny component was there for to pick up, but I kind of failed to make it really funny, I think. You have to think about it. What would be the best remark? Well, you kind of deserve it because you are always here. So you are probably, I mean, you're just as childish as I am. So that's maybe my only concern. You have to be responsible as a moderator. But you're always here, so that makes a good argument. I'm playing this game and I just can't seem to, I don't know. Can I show this game? What is it called again? Defense zone. Defense zone. Defense zone. Yeah, this one. I'm not in number defense zone. Is it called 3 or HD or? It's a bit fake, isn't it? Episode? No. What the hell do they call that? Zone. Mission. So I'm not mission 9, I think. Yeah, this one. Is it allowed to play other YouTubes on YouTube? They're not going to ban me for showing another YouTube, right? I put it there. Let me just look what he's putting all there. Where he's putting everything. So this is a fire thrower, an electric shock thing. Yeah, that doesn't even make sense. I think this is a nitrogen, so cooling. And this is a fire thrower. This is a fire thrower at least. So everything comes like here and then set on fire and then immediately distinguish. What's the word? The fire is put out again. Doesn't make any sense. No, I'm not getting it. what is this? Also nitrogen, I think. They later have a tip. Don't put your nitrogen close to the fire thrower. And this guy is putting everything together. I think those three are nitrogen, and then the fire thrower is in the middle. No. And he's already at health 18. Yeah, that doesn't count. The only thing that's interesting is to see how someone gets health 20, the maximum, all the way till the end. Okay, I'm going to try this this level. Post Bunny, you have been installing that as well, right? And you have been playing it a bit, but same thing. You gotta get 20 at the end. You may never lose any health at all. That's the goal. It's a challenge, rather. To play it perfect. So I played the mission, I play not on easy, but on medium, and I have done the first 8 missions now. Perfect, without losing any. Okay, I'll see you